Good morning, all the way from Still Bay. It's been a while since I've made a video, but I did tell you guys it was going to take some time. So, today I've kind of been thinking about beauty and what beauty is, what being beautiful entails, and for a guy, what being handsome entails, or hot or sexy or whatever everybody's talking about. And there's actually so much on that topic that's it's ridiculous, you know. It creates so many problems and stuff in our society as well. So I thought I'd discuss the technical, like where it actually comes from a psychological psyche standpoint. Like, why do we find certain people attractive, or certain people beautiful, or certain guys handsome, and for others we don't? What is that standard, you know, and why is that standard there? I don't think people actually question it very often. You know, they're all like, oh, media, but they don't actually understand what that means when they're saying it's because of media, or, you know, eating disorders, or all of these body issues and body consciousness problems come from media, but they don't understand why or how the two relate. They just say it because it's what people say. Okay, so I want to explain the technical terms. Not technical terms, just what's going on in the mind. Okay, so ever since we're born as babies, the first thing we are naturally drawn to are human faces. So we'll sort out for a human face, and that's what our bodies respond to in pleasure centers. Our minds respond to, not only our bodies. Okay, so they've done loads of studies in psychology to try and understand what makes you like some things, what makes you dislike some things, and how does that whole process work. So the process works, strangely enough, is if you have been exposed to something brand new that you have never been exposed to prior, and you don't have a repulsion against it, it's just like a neutral thing, you can grow to love that thing. But if you are exposed to it and you have a repulsion, then you won't grow. You'll just grow to dislike it more and more and more. And basically what grows from how you get to a point of liking and disliking is that the more you are exposed to this, the more you start liking it. But like I said, only if you weren't repulsed or you experienced an aversion towards it in the beginning. So let's say, I don't know, you hear a song on the radio, and in the beginning you're like, oh, it's not that bad, blah. You know, you're not like, you don't love it, but you don't hate it. And the more and more it plays, the more you're like, okay, wait, this is a catchy tune, and then all of a sudden, you know, that term, it grows on you. So that's what makes you like something. Just the fact that it's merely being repeated, and you didn't experience a very strong dislike towards it in the first place. So, and the same goes for beauty. If it's whatever you're exposed to the most is what you'll have a strong liking to. And you can apply that for anything and everything, you know. It's the same as seeing people. In the beginning, when you see someone, yes, you'll work out a framework for them and categorize them and place them and da-da-da-da-da. But again, if you weren't repulsed by them in the beginning, and you start seeing them more and more often, whether it's work environment, going out, whatever, spending more time with them, the more you will grow a liking towards that person. And always remember also what I said, if you experienced an aversion towards it in the beginning, the more and more you're exposed to it, the more and more you're going to dislike that. So, you know, that annoying song that you hear or heard on the radio, and you're like, oh, I just grated your tits so much, but every single time you're going to listen to it, you just get, like, it's going to grate you more and more and more. So, if you're thinking about whatever it is that you're thinking about, for me at this point in time, it's focusing on image, beauty, what is beauty, and why we find beauty beautiful or not beautiful. And if you think about it on the psyche, in the psyche sense, and what's going on in the brain, what we all find beautiful is what we've been programmed to find beautiful. So, you know, the women that you're seeing in magazines and on TVs, the men as well, women that you're seeing in magazines and on TVs and on billboards And that's what we find beautiful. Because if you look back, Renaissance years, you know, you just go all the way back. What was beautiful back then was entirely different. Females used to rock like mustaches, and you know, like that was beautiful back then. Or not being stick thin and having like a fuller figure, that was seen as beautiful. As seeing somebody in, you know, even African cultures, somebody with a bit more meat is what they find beautiful, and having been what in our society now, well, our westernized culture is seen as beautiful, they see that person as ill. They think you have AIDS, or you know, so they're like, stay away. They think you're unhealthy, you're dying of some sort of illness, where essentially you actually are. You know, it's an illness of your mind where you're never going to be good enough. And it's a big thing I would like to expose and, you know, speak about from personal experience as well. But anyways, that's off topic. So yeah, if you're thinking about it like that, I mean, it's what we're being exposed to, these visuals and images of what is beautiful, and that's what we are classifying beauty against. That's what we're classifying it. You know, that's how we're classifying ourselves. That's how we're classifying others. And if you're aware of that, it all becomes very surface and ridiculous, and you actually start seeing how many problems are arising out of the world because of it, especially self-confidence issues. You know, whether, it doesn't matter what it is, like, okay, I'm sitting in very nice lighting now, so that's like a natural Photoshop, you know, but this isn't real. Like, this isn't what I look like in real life. I also look really skinny from this angle I'm seeing, you know, so it's like, woohoo, but that's not real life. So even you guys sitting at home watching, like, you might have a perception of maybe, like, I don't know, maybe you're thinking she's looking good, where in actual fact, this is not how I look. This is just good lighting, good angles, good, you know, and this is how it is. The images that we're being exposed to in magazines and stuff, there's professionals that do this. We all know it's like, oh, it's photoshopped. So on a judgmental scale, we can say it's photoshopped, but we're not really understanding what that means. When we say it's photoshopped and airbrushed, and you know, that's not really how they look, and this is Exhibit A, guys, you know, this is literally not real. It's not like, you know, and there's this whole craze that's going on where people want to be naturally beautiful. Well, I wouldn't say a craze, like, that's something I'll always go for, rather do natural beauty, but yeah, I'm saying that having mascara on my face, so, you know, it's not really real as well, because then I'd be full natural and not have mascara on my face. But anyways, and, you know, so they're trying to give this image of being naturally beautiful, but nobody's confident in actually just going natural, you know, like, it's the ones closest to you you'll show your real self to, which is, you know, you just don't feel like brushing your hair or whatever, you know, like, you know, and then it gets that awesome fucking dread. Anyways, but yeah, nobody, you know, they're all, it's like this whole process, boys, guys as well, before you go out, it's this whole, and I can't really shut it down, because there's a, you know, you're taking care of yourself, you're looking after yourself, but there's a fine line between making yourself feel good and doing what it is that society is programming you to do, or to, you know, it's so dangerous for your mind and for your body. You get to a point where whatever it is that you're doing to your body is not good for you, but you're just trying to reach this ideal and this image that you are being programmed to believe is what perfection is what beauty is, and that's dangerous, and it's not healthy, and you're punishing your body and yourself, your mind most importantly, to reach this idolized perception or image that is not possible, because it's not reality what we're being exposed to. It's, like I said, it's lighting, and it's just everything else, and the problems that it's creating, like I said, you know, like eating deficiencies, nutritional deficiencies, anorexia, bulimia, food addictions, all these crazy things that it's causing and creating. And so I'd like to bring up that topic about beauty. What is beauty and why do we find that beautiful? So people can actually start questioning. Because, when you're in a relationship, for instance, or with your closest friends, what I find is when that person is at their most natural, that's when I find them the most attractive. And when you say that to that other person, they can't believe it, It's like, oh, I just woke up, boy, da 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 da. But you find that with your partner, and why? Because you're seeing them more and more and more, or your friends, you're seeing them more and more and more. And so that's going to become what's beautiful, because you're looking at something different and you're exposing yourself to something different. And the more and more you see it, the more and more beautiful it becomes. And I also find that, finding somebody attractive is a huge difference. Like I've been very, I don't want to say anti, like I'm completely against it, but I don't do magazines and like I hardly put on the television. I try purposefully not to fill my mind with any of this stuff. Maybe I'll watch like Master Chef or something if I happen to put the TV on and it's on, but it doesn't go much further than that, honestly. Not a series fan or any of that stuff. So I'm trying to, I'm very selective of what information I want to put in my mind. So what everybody finds attractive is different. I get that. So maybe you, the girl that growing up found Jessica Alba more beautiful, and the other girl found Megan Fox more beautiful, so there's still differentiation on beauty, because people will be like, well, how come she finds her beautiful and I find him the most handsome? So there is still differentiation, don't get me wrong. Like, it depends who you find beautiful out of the choices that we've been given by society, but essentially it's all the same programming. So I can't remember where I was going. Sorry guys, I really blabber on a lot and lose track a lot. A lot of the time. I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but you kind of, if I had to classify, you get the guys or the girls that are hot or sexy, or every term means something different for somebody else, but whatever. And it's kind of the ideal that everybody will find hot, or and what I find is spending more and more time with this person, the less attractive they become. Whereas the person where what I find attractive, that doesn't attract all the attention, the more and more time you spend with them, the more and more beautiful or handsome they become. So it's something on the inside that's shining through. It's not just this image, it's coming from the inside. And it's a lot easier said than done, or understanding, because I'm sitting here explaining this, but I'm still trying to learn, beauty within. I'm still trying to learn that without, I'm sure, most people beating yourself up about issues that you self-consciously have about yourself. So that's kind of something I just wanted to expose, because I know I'm not alone in this. Guys as well, there's been way more media based on guys. It never used to be that way. Like, the guest models and stuff just used to be stick thin and for males. And over the past couple of years, it's big, buff kind of guys, so they have that ideal too. So eating disorders and self-consciousness problems and everything has sped up a lot for guys over the past few years too. Bigorexia, anorexia, they have, it's the same. So I don't feel it's only females that have that, it's guys too. It's just, they speak about it less because they're fearful of being judged, because female are more sensitive, but essentially it's all the same. You don't feel good enough, and you're constantly feeling like there's something more you need to be doing, or something less you need to be doing in order to fit some sort of ideal. And And that's dangerous. If you are trying to base your happiness or how you'll feel based on the reactions of others, so trying to create something that's not really real, if you're thinking about it, the more unhappy you're going to become, because you're putting that out there. And I feel as if, I don't know, the universe brings it back and teaches you a lesson, so you can either learn that lesson or you can carry on and do and fixate more and more on these things, or try and do more and more to become more and more like this ideal. But there's never going to be a point that you reach where you're like, I'm happy. You're never going to, you know, it's a goal you can't reach. It's a goal you can't grasp, because there'll always then be something more. You'll always find a new flaw, a new imperfection. It's impossible. So turning direction inwards and focusing on that and learning to love your soul and using that as your strength and that as your beauty is what, to me, beauty really means. It's got nothing to do with an outer. Beauty really is just skin deep. I mean, it's all gonna fade. It's all, especially at our age, already is fading. You know, it's like, it means nothing, because there could be the most beautiful person or the most handsome guy, and if they open their mouth and don't have heart or soul, I find them instantly unattractive. So attraction, if you're aware of it, beauty really does come from within, and it's this huge inner light, you know, that's brighter than, I don't know, like beauty really does come from within, and it's a type of beauty that's almost, you know, I'm pretty sure we've all encountered those people where physically they're not, if you have to destruct it or deconstruct it, you wouldn't technically find them beautiful or handsome, but we use the term, there's just something about him, or there's something about her, or there's, you know, and that's something that you're drawn to, whether it's the confidence you lacking, or the self-acceptance you lacking, or the love that's just the compassion that beams out of them, that you just admire and love and respect. And that's what true beauty is to me. So I just thought I'd make a video on that, and expose what society programs you to believe beauty is, and how it is a good idea. It's very important always to question. I feel like I'll say that in every video. But to understand it on that level, you know, I find this beautiful because, and question, like, is that really beautiful, you know, male or female? If you're standing in the mirror trying to fixate on, you know, making yourself look the way society has told you to make yourself look, question, like, why, you know, why can't I just find myself beautiful, or not stop trying to look at an outer, you know, don't fall for that trap. There's times where you're being very negative and self-critical, and just say out loud, like, I'm not falling for that trap, you know, like, I find it works for me. Don't fall for that shit, you know, don't. You are beautiful, you are perfect, exactly as you are, and by not believing that, you're going to create the exact fear that you have. And I'm finding that, and have found that on a very real level, self-conscious issues, and it's everywhere. I'm just sitting here exposing that because it's not something I'm proud of, it's not something I want to just be like, oh, you know, but if there's at least one other person, whether you're male or female, out there that's also feeling self-conscious or body conscious, or, you know, anything and everything related to image, you're not alone. You're not alone at all. I feel like there's many of us, but get off that train, because you're chasing something that is not reachable or attainable, and even if it is momentarily, it slips away, and then you're back in your depression or whatever it is, not happiness with your own body, with your own self. You're not alone, and just because you're not the picture perfect image of what society has told us beauty is, does not mean you're not beautiful, because that's not where beauty lies. beauty does come from within, and you're beautiful and perfect the exact way that you've been made. So focus on your strengths, focus on your heart, focus on things that matter, and cultivate that. You know, don't try and cultivate an outer. It's damaging to the mind, but most importantly, damaging to the soul, which is the worst. So yes, love yourself today, and you know, if you don't look like that image, be proud of it. Take a stand. You don't look like everybody else, and you have something unique about you that's beautiful, and run with that. Be proud of that. Take a stand in that. Yeah, love yourself today. Love those around you, and try not judge them according to how you judge yourself. Try and see their actual beauty, their true beauty, and not this outer projection of what we've been programmed to believe to be beautiful. It's so much deeper than that. But other than that, have a beautiful day, and my next video should be up quite soon. Thanks for watching, by the way, as well, to my subscribers again. I haven't had internet, so I don't really know how many of you there are, but I'm really, really appreciative. So thanks so much for that. But yeah, I will make a new video soon. Thanks again. Ta-ta!